Breaking Coco Gauff, the new face of tennis dominance, steps into finals fearlessly. There are athletes who rise suddenly, burn brightly, and fade. And then there are those rare figures who step into greatness with purpose, with intention so clear it feels like destiny unfolding in real time. This season, that rare force has a name, a voice, and a presence impossible to overlook. Coco Gauff. She did not just reach the finals this year. She conquered every expectation, silenced every doubt, and transformed every challenge into proof of her unshakable resolve. She walked into finals not as an underdog, not as a prodigy, but as a new face of tennis dominance, carrying herself with the fearlessness of someone who knows exactly who she is. This is a story of how Coco Gauff arrived at the summit of her sport, and why the world now sees her as the leader of tennis's next era. A season written in bold lines. From the moment the season began, it was clear something extraordinary was unfolding. Gauff entered her first tournament with fire in her eyes and the calm of someone who had spent the off-season not simply training, but transforming. Her team saw it first, the new maturity in her practices, the intention behind her footwork, the precision in her decision-making. She approached each match like a master craftsman, not a teenager still learning the ropes. She didn't need anyone to tell her she was ready. She felt it in her bones. And so did her opponents. One after another, they found themselves overwhelmed by a version of Coco that was stronger, faster, sharper. Her backhand, always her signature, cracked across the court like a whip. Her serve, once her weakness, became a weapon. Her movement remained a dance of speed and calculation. Her start wasn't just strong. It was dominant. But Coco's rise this season wasn't defined by power alone. It was defined by fearlessness, the ability to embrace pressure without letting it distort her focus, the evolution of a champion. Every great athlete reaches a moment when potential turns into destiny. For Coco, that moment came mid-season, in a high-stakes match where she faced a top rival known for her aggression. It wasn't just a match, it was a test of identity. She lost the first set badly. The crowd murmured. Commentators whispered doubts. Her opponent celebrated too loudly. Coco didn't flinch. Between sets, she closed her eyes, breathing slowly. She wasn't thinking about tactics or rankings. She was thinking about the promise she'd made to herself. I will not bow. Not here. Not ever. When she returned to the court, her energy had shifted entirely. Her steps were lighter. Her decisions were quicker. Her shots, once tentative, became declarations of belief. Point by point, she climbed back into the match. Game by game, she dismantled her opponent's confidence. Set by set, she rewrote the storyline. When she won the final point, she didn't scream. She simply raised her fist, not in celebration, but in confirmation. The tennis world understood at that moment. Coco Gauff was no longer emerging. She had arrived. The rivalries that fueled the rise. Great champions aren't forged alone. They are shaped by the battles that challenge them, sharpen them, and push them beyond their own limits. Coco's rivalries this season became the fire that forged her dominance against the power hitters. Sabalenka, Ostapenko, Rybakina, players who could overwhelm anyone with sheer force. But Coco discovered the strength of her own explosiveness. She met power with power, defense with counterpunching brilliance, and intimidation with absolute composure against the tactical masters. Swiatek, Barty-like players, and veterans who made every point a chess match. Coco learned patience. She learned strategy. She learned how to wait for her moment, then take it with precision against her own generation. Facing young talents who idolized her, she embraced her role as standard bearer. These matches weren't just about winning. They were about showing the next generation what excellence looks like and how high she planned to set the bar. Through these battles, Coco carved out her identity, a player of power, intelligence, heart, and unbreakable will. The road to the finals. As the season approached its climax, the pressure only grew heavier. Every match grew in significance. Every tournament became a doorway to something bigger. Reporters asked if she felt the weight. I don't carry weight, she said with a smile. I carry purpose. That purpose guided her through matches where everything seemed to go wrong. Double faults, bad calls, momentum swings, aching muscles. It guided her through stadiums where the crowd roared against her. It guided her when she stepped onto courts where champions had crumbled. Each victory pushed her closer. Each final became a rehearsal. Each battle taught her something necessary for the moment she was now destined to face. The finals. The stage every child dreams of, but only the strongest reach. When she finally secured her place in the championship match, it wasn't a moment of shock. It was inevitability. She didn't collapse. She didn't cry. She didn't even raise her arms. She simply nodded, the quiet, powerful gesture of someone who expected to stand exactly where she was standing. The final step, walking in without fear. On the morning of the finals, the sky over the stadium was streaked with orange, as if the world itself were marking the beginning of something monumental. Coco stepped out of her car wearing headphones, her face calm, her stride steady. She didn't walk like someone entering the biggest match of her career. What makes Coco Gauff the new face of dominance? Some athletes dominate with brute strength. Others dominate with tactical brilliance. But Coco's dominance comes from a deeper place, a place where confidence, purpose, and identity merge. Here's what separates her. 1. She plays with emotional intelligence. She doesn't panic. She doesn't rush. She reads opponents like open books and controls momentum like a conductor leading an orchestra. 2. She embraces pressure. Where others crumble, she thrives. Finals aren't frightening for her. They're invitations. 3. She balances humility with hunger. She respects the sport, her opponents, her fans, but she is not afraid to take space, take power, and take her moment. 4. She leads without trying to lead. Her work ethic inspires. Her voice empowers. Young athletes see in Coco not just a champion, but a roadmap. 5. She believes. Not in hype, not in luck, but in the strength she has built over years of sacrifice. These qualities make her more than a finalist. They make her the symbol of a new generation, the face of an era shifting toward youth, resilience, and fearless ambition. As Coco steps onto court for the finals, millions are watching, not just to see whether she will lift the trophy, but to witness the unfolding of a story that feels bigger than sport. She stands at the baseline, bouncing the ball once, twice, 3 times. Her opponent stares back. The crowd buzzes with anticipation. But Coco is silent, centered, ready. The future of women's tennis is not a question anymore. It is standing right there with a racket in her hand and a fire in her eyes. The new face of dominance. The fearless finalist. The leader of her era. Win or lose, Coco Gauff has already transformed the game, and this final is just another chapter in a legacy that is only beginning. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.